In the year 2050, Earth is on the brink of collapse. The planet is no longer habitable, and humanity's only hope lies in the stars. A team of astronauts is sent on a mission to terraform a distant planet. But what they find there is beyond their wildest nightmares. The film begins with a news report that reveals that the Earth's ecosystem is collapsing due to a mysterious and deadly virus that has no cure. Many scientists from around the world have tried to find a solution, but none of them have succeeded. As a result, the frequency and intensity of natural disasters have increased dramatically, and everyone fears that the Earth will soon become uninhabitable. In the midst of this crisis, Dr. Stephen Ross, who is leading the Project Gemini, or also known as Earth 2.0 project, and his team of researchers have discovered an ancient alien artifact called the Sphere, which they believe has the power to create life and to act as a portal to other worlds. Project Gemini's team has managed to replicate these alien artifacts using the same materials and to locate a new habitable planet, named TSS, with the help of the device, which enables humans to travel across deep space. Moreover, they have successfully deciphered some of the codes to use the orb, which has its own language, and plan to use it to create a new home for humanity. Stephen and his team, which includes Leona, Peter, David, and Mayor Ryan Cannell, are going to embark on an expedition to TSS to see the planet's condition firsthand and to install the sphere there. Steve's wife, Amy, tries to stop her husband from leaving, but she is too late as the spacecraft has already departed. While Steve and Peter are inspecting the engine, something unexpected emerges from the sphere, indicating that they are not alone. After traveling in space for some time, the crew is finally ready for the jump and initiates the jump procedure. However, something goes wrong during the jump, and they end up in an unknown part of the galaxy. Steve blames Peter and throws him out of the cockpit, accusing him of not following the jump protocol, but Peter insists that he had checked everything before they jumped. They are completely lost in the galaxy and cannot jump back since they do not have any landmarks or data to determine their current location. On the other hand, Peter turns off the surveillance camera and decides to investigate the device by himself. A few moments later, the spacecraft detects an object approaching, and it turns out to be Peter's dead body. The entire crew is shocked and terrified. David believes that Peter committed suicide after he failed the mission. After suffering for a while, they notice that there is a nearby planet, which turns out to be a much more suitable candidate for terraforming than TSS was. Steve, as the mission leader, decides that they will try to explore the planet, but Ryan and Richard disagree because it is too dangerous, and the planet is still unstable since it is a young planet. But their opinions do not matter as Steve is the one who makes the final decision and the other crew members have to obey. The docking sequence is initiated and Ryan, Steve, and some other crew members head towards the planet. After passing through the turbulent weather, the landing crew manages to land on the planet. The scene briefly flashes back to a moment when Steve gives his wife a beautiful necklace made of Sphere's material. Despite landing safely, Richard reports that the plane has run out of fuel, meaning that they cannot get back to the mothership and are trapped there. They find a suitable cave and quickly proceed to take out the sphere into the cave. Upon arriving at the cave, they start the installation of the sphere. After that, they return to the plane. Meanwhile, Richard, who is alone in the mothership, finds a transparent gel and accidentally finds a recording of Peter before he was somehow ejected from the ship. He tells the other crew members about the recording that night, which shows that Peter's death was caused by an unknown entity, not by his own hand. He also finds out that the alien life form, dubbed the Trojan Horse, came out of the sphere and is now on board their plane. He suspects that Steve is hiding something about the sphere and demands that he reveal the truth to everyone. The scene shifts to Steve examining the sphere on Earth, where he encounters a mysterious human figure. He ignores the anomaly he saw earlier and leaves. It is revealed that David's daughter died shortly before the expedition, and Steve initially advised him to withdraw from the mission. But he refused because he had the most expertise on the project, along with Steve. Back on the plane, Steve asks David to accompany him quietly back to the sphere. David initially rejects the idea, since Ryan has taken over the command, but he changes his mind after Steve tells him that they are the only ones who can stop the virus that is threatening humanity on Earth. When they arrive, they try to adjust the settings of the sphere, but the Trojan is approaching them slowly. David panics and fires at the sphere, which shuts it down. They run back to the plane and barely make it in time. Ryan confronts them and tells Steve that he has lost his authority to make any decisions. Suddenly, the plane's alarm goes off, indicating that the Trojan has breached the plane. Leona, who is still unaware of the emergency situation, wanders through the corridor and sees the Trojan in the lab. She manages to escape to the control room. All the crew members gather in the control room, where the Trojan cannot enter. Ryan becomes angry with Steven for endangering their lives by bringing the alien back to the landing ship. They have no way to locate Trojan or send a distress signal, and Steven discovers that the alien is highly intelligent. He suggests fixing the fuse box to restore communications and cameras, but Ryan thinks it's too risky. Steven takes responsibility and heads out to fix it, successfully restoring the cameras. The team detects the alien is approaching Steven. He runs towards the control room, and just as alien is about to attack Steven, Ryan saves him with a metal rope and pulls him back to the control room. They make a plan to kill the alien out of the ship. Steve will wait outside, and Leona and David will be in charge of opening of the airlocks, and Ryan will lure him to main corridor. Steven goes outside to act as a bait, and when the alien finally comes, Richard is unable to turn on the engine to burn it because of the signal interference. So Leona comes outside to fire at the monster. Suddenly, Richard gets access to the engine. The engines ignite, but unfortunately, Leona is caught in the flames and perishes. Steven and David manage to repel the alien and escape back onto the ship. However, in the process, David is wounded when alien's tentacle attempts to capture Steven. Later, Steven studies the alien's tentacles to understand its mechanics and to develop a vaccine for the virus that infected David. He discovers that the tentacles are made of the same material as the sphere, and the bacteria that infected David possesses a robust defense mechanism. Steven realizes that David's blood holds the key to developing a vaccine that can save Earth. Steven then informs David about this discovery. Steven also founds in his discovery that these are basically biorobots who are able to receive transmission from other aliens and will eventually help them to colonize the planets. However, when he shares this information with Ryan and tells him that they need to go to Sphere to kill the alien, he refuses to help because it will put life in danger and instead places Steven under arrest, accusing him of being self-centered and narcissistic. Steven, with help of Richards, find out that didn't jump through space, but actually through time. They are still on the same planet that is the Earth, but 4 billion years in the past. Steven checks a fragment of the sphere he has been holding and realizes that it is the same one he gave to his girlfriend, Amy, as a gift. And the clone sphere is the same one that Steven and paleontologist finds later. So Steven carves a message in the fragment to teach Amy how to activate sphere, and eventually will be able to save humanity 4 billion years later. However, Richard informs Steven that Ryan plans to blow up the sphere, and he must intervene. Upon discovering Ryan's plan, Steven requests Richard to reopen the airlock to get outside and confront Ryan. After finding Ryan with the bombs, Steven tries to reason with him, suggesting that there might be a better plan to handle the situation. However, their conversation is abruptly interrupted by a gunshot that kills Ryan. To Steven's surprise, it is David, who is now half-infected by alien bacteria. David asserts that humans are mere malfunctions of the sphere, believing that the alien has chosen him to help make things right. In an attempt to distract David, Steven throws Leona's Rubik Cube at the wall and lands a shot on him, prompting David to run away wounded. Steven then activates the bomb and shoots a flare to lure the alien to the control room, where he locks it up. As he runs down the corridor, David opens fire on him, forcing Steven into hiding. At that moment, the alien breaks down the door and approaches Steven, but he manages to get it off him with a quick shot. The alien chases Steven as he makes his way back to the control room, where he encounters David, who tries to kill him. However, the alien appears and kills David, giving Steven the chance to run out of the shuttle just before the bomb explodes, killing the beast. Steven passes out outside for a few seconds and is woken up by Richard, who tries to contact anyone alive. Richard wants to come and save him, but the storm is too strong, and Steven tells him to stay back while he returns to the cave to use the sphere. Meanwhile, in the present, Amy finds her bracelet and finally notices the message. She uses it to activate the sphere, and at that moment, husband and wife meet again in a fusion of past and present. Steven hurries to share the formula for the vaccine before expressing his love, right as the connection ends. Stephen dies in the cave due to lack of oxygen, leaving Amy devastated. In the ending scene, we see the scene shift to months later. Amy is raising a healthy baby and we find that Amy had developed the vaccine that eventually saved the world. I hope you enjoyed the explanation. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.